his debut, Jarno Uppbeat wins at Spa.
It's Martinez in Montreal. David beats Goliath.
It's a true underdog story. John Evans wins at Mexico.
And it's Super Sam Corby who takes the PlayStation Championship.
FRA Ron Hart takes his first WOR Championship. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jake Benham is a two-time WOR champion.
Stop it! Around the outside operated line. Shadow is contact again. Ron Hart is around.
Melanie, surely is going to win here at Abu Dhabi. He does.
15 races across 5 continents. From Brazil to Belgium and Bahrain to Britain. Soon this story starts. Across 3 platforms, hundreds will begin the quest. The quest in search of glory and the right to be called a WOR champion. Lights out, and we're racing in Season 12.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Let's just make sure I get that plugged in so Jish can actually talk. Hello, and welcome to WR Tier 1, and this is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And wow, this is one of the... I don't know, I was always concerned about this track when I first saw it come up on the menu, so to speak, of tracks to have. But after last season's race in the real F1 and then some of the ones I've commentated on the past, I'm really looking forward to this one. And especially with how these guys, I know you can't see that screen that I'm pointing at over there, but these guys actually handle the pressure, especially Shadow as well with everything going on. But I am joined by Jish, that way I will get my pointing finger correct at one day. But Jish, welcome along. This is going to be an absolutely incredible one, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WOR. Obviously, we had a cracker of a race last week at Portugal with Elite and Shadow battling away the two teammates of the season in the Red Bull car, absolutely giving it all. But Shadow has a really, really good chance to wrap up the title next week at France if he wins today in the top 3 in otherwise of Harvey, Findium, and also Square. If they fail to score tonight, then Shadow only needs 3 points next week. But never mind, next week we're here at Saudi Arabia. Obviously, yes, an absolutely fantastic track for racing on the game. A little bit sketchy at times in real life. Obviously, we've seen a few incidences here and there, but hopefully it should be smooth sailing for tonight. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites to commentate in league racing. There's always amazing action that happens tonight, and yeah, let's bring it on.
Yeah, it's definitely a big one, and obviously, you know, the massive talking point is Shadow, his 49-point lead over Harvey. That's incredible with 4 rounds, including this one, remaining. But he's not raced here week in, week out, but his challengers haven't been able to pick up, and when he's not been here, and that's a massive downfall for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely not. Obviously, Shadow's time outside of the Xbox community, obviously he's taken some time to try and perfect his art on PC, and also to take time just to practice in the challenges when it was on. Obviously a champion of that, and an absolutely fantastic season he had. But yeah, obviously with that break, he still remains his championship advantage. Obviously he was much slender than it was back then. I think it was down to 2 points when he returned. But yeah, obviously it's just a lot of his competitors couldn't really get the wins and the points that they could. And obviously Alfie had many times to just try and wrap that up, but obviously a few issues that went his way meant he couldn't do so. So it's just been pretty lucky. I would say luck. I don't like to use that word lucky, but he's definitely had some luck when he's not been here. But we all know Shadow's an absolutely fantastic driver on and off the platform, so it should be an absolutely fantastic race, and hopefully for his sake, he can try and wrap up that win tonight and take one hand on that WOR trophy.
Wow, that is his take tonight, but there's 19 other drivers all readying themselves up, trying to stop that from happening. And Elite, his teammate, we've already spoken about being one of them, and I'm really looking forward to how it all pans down, because if Elite was here at the start, I don't think it would be as easy. But before we head on too much, I just want to touch on the GridRival. Obviously, they are sponsoring WOR for the remainder of this season. The link for WOR is in the chat. Make sure you join off that. There is a prize pool at the end, so get yourselves in there. See if you can beat the likes of myself, Jish. I think you're in there as well. Luke's in there. There's a lot of drivers from WR in there. And see if you've got the mettle to beat people who think they know what they're talking about in F1. But they're all getting themselves ready. Jish, this is 27 corners, 25 laps of pure adrenaline pumping. They're so close to the wall. Do you think we're going to see a couple of safety cars tonight?
Absolutely so. Obviously, we saw the Carnage PC. Obviously, it was great racing, but there were a few incidences here and there. But that is casual, really, with any track. You can get a lot of safety cars at a track that has wide opportunities to run off. But there's also small opportunities where there sometimes isn't any safety cars. But usually around here, there are a lot of safety cars that happen. Obviously, you're so close to the barriers all the time. There could be a mistake happening at any moment, so you just got to be lucky where it plans out and hopefully have a clean race. But obviously it's one of my favorite tracks to drive as well as commentate. Obviously you're so fast, it's always almost 90-ish% on throttle. There's only maybe about 2 or 3 corners I can pick up on where you're really on brakes, so it should be a fantastic one. And definitely interesting with how the safety cars play out, how if there are any crashes, of course, and also the penalty situations and even invalidations in the race. Obviously, you want to try and perfect every single corner, but obviously, by perfecting it, you have to run the risks of invalidating or getting an exceeding track limit warning. So you've got to be careful, which is probably one of the reasons why I absolutely love this track. Yeah,
it's a pure mixture of everything you want, I think. There's the straights, there's the overtaking opportunities, there's the risk reward factor that's for qualifying. And before we actually get ourselves down into this qualifying and everything to pan out, let's go have a look at the standings. And this is the man on the top. He is absolutely flying high at the moment, and that is, Shadow's 49 points over Harvey. Harvey didn't race the last week, and he still managed to hold on to second place, 2 points in front of Square. There's a lot to be said about what happened last week for a few of those drivers, and we know how unlucky Alfie has been as well. There's a lot to be said about some of these drivers' unfortunate errors.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Alfie, I think if luck went his way and obviously his hardware played the ball game, then he probably would be on the top step of the championship, or very, very close to Shadow. He had that 2.5 second gap at Australia, which was looking like a very comfortable win. You could say the same in Mexico, where he had a few unfortunate events. You could say the same with a lot of opportunities that he's had, but hopefully everything plays to the script for his sake, and hopefully he can try and cluster on with a few more good opportunities this race, and hopefully just climb himself a little bit further up that table, because he's had such an unfortunate season today. Well, this season as well. So hopefully, if he does stay on for Xbox next season, then he'll have a little bit more of luck. But obviously, if he goes to PC as well, then he'll have some luck as well. So hopefully, he just gets as many points as he can. Obviously, I think he's almost out of this championship fight as well. So hopefully, he can try and muster on a few more points. But yeah, it's just been an unfortunate season for him. But hopefully, he can get his way back tonight.
Yeah, there's plenty of action throughout. There's a little bit of pride rebuilding probably for Alfie as well, because he was the main one to battle away. Looked like the championship was his at one stage as well, but cast your minds back to Imola and the incidents there, and there's a lot to be debated around at some stage. But 4 races to go with this one. It's not all done and dusted. All it takes is Shadow to have a DNF here, and it's blown it wide open again, I think. Harvey on his lap. He's going to be the first one to complete a lap, as he's hounding down this track in Sector 2 at the moment. Through turn 16 and 17 he comes. I think might have got that the wrong way around. I'm not 100% sure. There's so many corners on this circuit, but obviously this early stage he's purple through the all. But look at the line he takes through turns 22 there, and he's taken as much as the curb as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can get away with a few things around here in Saudi Arabia. The track limit warnings are quite lenient around here, so you can run the curves quite a bit, which is probably a nice feeling for the drivers. Harvey on the medium compound tires to start his first flying run of course, got pole position in the Tier 2 race over on PC the other day, and he's taken pole position so far with a 28.033 on the medium compound tyres. Not a bad lap time at all. I think Broken's coming around the final corner, and he is in the Aston Martin car. Shadow just behind him did invalidate through into Sector 1. DRS wide open for Broken as he makes his way towards the line and goes even quicker than Harvey on a 26.721, which is probably what you expect from his soft compound tyre run, just about almost 2 seconds quicker there. Recluse decides to come into the pit lane for his one. Smokey on an out lap at the moment as Burraps puts in a 27.952, just a few thousandths quicker than Harvey there on his medium run. Silas puts it into P2 with 27.283, so already some pretty decent times going on as he has a little bit of a moment turning right there. I think a few wheel issues troubling on. Hopefully no damage to that Alpine car. Boots puts it into P3, 27.769, and the other Alpine driver and a championship challenger, of course, PSR Square in P3 with a 27.563. So currently the leader in this championship battle with Shadow invalidating earlier on. Not sure if he's tried to go for more. Looks likely as he enters Sector 3. Sector 2 was a 29.2, I believe, off the top of my head. And Shadow absolutely on the minute. And look how close he gets to the barriers. And he's definitely a man on a mission here in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Shadow's definitely the man to watch out for at the moment. Oh, a little bit of a... Might have been a bit of a lag spike on my screen from there because it's definitely gone a little bit weird. But he is purple in Sector 2 as he rounds through into Sector 3. We've seen so many action points down as they head into turn 27 in real life, PC last season and PlayStation last season as well. But it's Xbox, the first time we've been here at Jeddah, and history is definitely going to be made tonight. And can Shadow be the one that does it? He's coming across the line. And it's a 1:26.5, 0.2 of a second quicker than Broken.
Yeah, brilliant up there from Shadow. Pulled it out the bag on his second attempt there. 26.541, as you said, two and a bit tenths quicker than Broken there. Broken doing well on his return as well as Silas comes into the pit lane. FRA Elite, Shadow's teammate, still in the pit lane as he's just coming out now for his first flying run as well in the session. Smokey coming around Sector 1 now with purple in Sector 1. A little bit of a hit on the way in. Should be no problem for the newly announced FRT driver. Massive congratulations to him on his move, and just a little bit too much curb taken through Sector 2, and he's invalidated his run there, unfortunate to see. Wilson crosses the line, puts it into P3 with a 27.003. Unlucky not to try and get into the 26s on his first attempt, but it's a good P3 and a solid 2-3 for WOR there, with Broken in P2. Wilson putting it into P3. Matthew Reese as well coming towards Sector 3 at the moment, just taking a little bit of time. I believe he has backed out of that one as well, but yeah, it's looking good so far for Shadow. Still 2 and a bit tenths quicker than Broken, just to be precise, about a tenth, just about over a tenth and a half quicker than Broken there, but it's looking all good so far for Shadow.
Square unable to beat his teammate. He did a second lap on those mediums just to see if it could do anything, but let's go on board with Recluse down in 19th place there. He's got a Shazoo name in front of him. That was different from last time I commentated on him, I'm certain of that. But he's now out on a lap in Sector 1, heading into Sector 2. Now it's a 30.7 as his Sector 1 time, which I think is quite respectable.
Yeah, it's not bad on a medium time. It's probably definitely up there with some of the faster medium runners as he makes his way through Sector 2, which is almost practically flat out as you have a little bit of a lift on the left onto the right and in towards the left, hitting the curves very, very nicely, and then it's fully flat out till the end of this sector with a tad little bit of a lift on the way in. There's his teammate WR Wilson just getting out of the way under the bridge section coming up now, almost fully flat, just 2 gears down, and just taking that a little bit too much on the track limits. And there is the corner cut. That's the limit going in to 26-27, I believe, or 22-23. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that's the limit going in there. And Recluse has run the risk and unfortunately not got any reward from it as he makes a little bit of a mistake out of the final corner, but coming into the pits anyway.
And here is the other Red Bull driver to set his first time. He's purple in Sector 1. He's flying through Sector 2 at the moment as well. He's doing everything he can. How can he handle the pressure of 22 and 23? That's the big point. He's purple in Sector 2 as well. FRA Elite is not going to hand down at all. He's done that pretty perfectly. 22 and 23. Is he going to knock his teammate off of the top step. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, he is flying right now, and, you know, I wish he was here at the beginning because it would have changed the whole construct of this championship. But he's round turn 27, hugs as much to the left as he can, and he crosses the line, and he's 2.5 tenths quicker than his teammate. Game on.
That was a sensational lap there from Lee. I was just looking to the side of me how close he was to the barriers. He was like millimeters, absolutely millimeters on the level, and he's done that beautifully by 2 3/4 quicker than his teammate Shadow and Elite. I tell you what, he's definitely one for the future in sim racing and in esports as well. He's absolutely rapid. Is this youngster, and definitely deserving with that pole position so far. 2 and a bit tenths quicker than the current Challengers Xbox champion. That is just absolutely fantastic. And yeah, absolutely, if he was in here for the opening round of the season all the way through, definitely would be in with a shot at the title at the end of this. But yeah, Elite showing why he is Elite, if you like, excuse the pun. But yeah, Elite fastest so far. He's absolutely flying here in Saudi Arabia and leaving no pace where he left off in Portugal.
Definitely not. And let's have a look at PSR Moritz then as he rounds through Sector 2. His teammates behind him as well. These two, the two Ferraris, I don't think we've seen the best of them really this season. And that's weird to say considering Harvey's up in second place in the championship. But we could have seen a little bit more from him. Through 22 and 23 goes Moritz, and it's relatively quick through there, relatively tidy. It's exactly what he needs to do. He's on the set of softs. How far up can he go? He's probably looking at Wilson and Broken as the times he wants to beat. As he comes round through turn 27, here he comes then. What can the Ferrari driver do as he crosses the line? Nice and hugging tight. He doesn't want to tight too much because he will invalidate his P4, splitting the two drivers that I said he was looking to aim to beat.
Yeah, good luck there from Moritz, putting it in towards the top four, fourth man to get into the 26s today. Beautiful time. There is a FRT Thin from Tier 2, puts into P4 with a 26.736. That's a beautiful lap from the debutant in Xbox Tier 1 tonight. Massive congratulations to him, and a brilliant lap time to be awarded to him. A few more drivers making their return today. Smokey, one of them from Portugal as well, came back in for Saudi Arabia and is currently purple in Sector 2 with a 57.369 in towards 21 and 22. Taking that very, very nicely as you make your way uphill in towards 23. Alfie as well, purple Sector 2 with a 56.583. Beautiful lap from him so far. And one of the challenges we run on board with Smokey is Buraps in P3, puts it into P3 with 26.643. Smokey's teammate for today. Where can Smokey put his McLaren car as he makes his way across the line now? And across the line he comes, puts into P6 with a 26.823. A Shadow goes even quicker with a 26.038. We could see a 25 by the end of this session.
They are all pushing it at 25. Oh, Alfie, he beats Elite, but he can't beat Shadow. Shadow's put the marker down, and the other Haas driver of WR Matthew, or Matthew Reese as his gamer tag is today, is in P4. It's a Haas Red Bull show right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So not really used to where we've seen Haas in real life. Are absolutely smashing it in the esports scene tonight. And currently in the top four. I think Matthew is on a lap currently. Looked like he was going a little bit slow, and I think he was. He actually is 3 seconds back on his time. Boots puts it into P5, 26.551. As Elite still in the pit lane. I think he's going to wait this until the very last moment to set his final run in qualifying. Smokey, I believe, is deciding to go again. Not sure if he is or not. He makes his way through the second left. I believe he has backed out of that one. Wilson across the line. P4 for him, so he splits the hash throw with a 2-4 there and puts it into P4, 26.495. Just about 2 tenths slower than Elite there with that P3 shown. But Alfie splitting there in P2. And it's a usual sight we've seen at the start of the season with Alfie in P2 and Shadow in P1. But Alfie just needing that extra 2 tenths for the pole position at the moment. But it may still come square. Another challenger in this championship, invalidating his second run. Unfortunate to see with Smokey as well, deciding to back out of that one. Matthew Reese has backed out of his one as well. So that's the first second few runs done in this one. And Shadow, just out the back, maybe looking to try and do one more.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think there's just 4 minutes left of qualifying remaining. I couldn't really catch it with the continual yellow flag as there goes a Williams out of the pit garage there. P11 might not be a bad place to start. Connor is on a lap. Is he? Is Connor on a lap? No, Connor's in the pit lane. So what? Okay. It's saying that Connor is out on a lap on my screen, or I could be just being blind. Probably me being blind, to be honest. It's nice to see Luca here as well. But yeah, the alternate strategy might work for the people outside of the top 10. So, Moritz, Harvey, that could be what they're going for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the alternate strategy definitely is a key part in this race. Obviously, the mediums are just that tad better around here. Obviously, the tyre wear is a little bit higher than usual tracks, obviously, from the nature of the fast straights and the fast corners that they are. There's going to be a massive toll on the tyres as well, and obviously the heat in the desert of Saudi Arabia, if you like, is going to hurt the tyres a lot. So the soft compound tyres, where they are okay for the first opening laps, they are going to die off a little bit quicker than usual, but the medium compound tyres as well, also a slower option, but maybe a safer option at this moment in time, just to try and get things sorted out. But yeah, there might be a few drivers electing for the medium runs first of all, maybe alongside Harvey's currently in P14, not pushing too hard on his soft run, alongside Maloney in P13 and Racer as well in P12, and Moritz also in P11. Obviously Connor and Luca not setting times at the moment, they are on outlaps also alongside Alfie and Elite, and Elite is about to cross the line to start his first or final flying lap of the session. 2 minutes 27 to go. I don't think he'll have time for one more, even if he does decide to come into the pits. I don't think he will, but yeah, Elite on his final run, and this could be pole position incoming if he can try and improve by about 0.3 of a second.
So, people in the chat, let us know, who do you think is going to be on pole? Is it Shadow? Is it going to be Elite? Is it going to be Alfie? Or can Matthew Rees throw in a surprise out there as well? We'll 2 minutes time, I'm sure, or just a little over 2 minutes time, we will find out. M-Racer is just ahead of Elite. Elite goes purple in Sector 1. He's on a flyer. People are darting out of the way. They have to, because at this rate, he's just going to knock them out of the way. But he's been absolutely phenomenal so far in his season in WR. Only a few races, that is. And he's really battling away with the best of the Xbox League. You saw the different line he took as he came across the line to start his lap. I wonder if that's a little tactic that he had.
Yeah, definitely so. Elite absolutely flying through this lap, and he's only about 1/10 and a quarter up on his time at the moment. It's not going to be enough for pole position as it stands. He needs an absolutely sensational Sector 3, so close to the wall. You can almost see him touching the wall. He's so close to that. That's absolutely incredible to see as he makes his way through the final corner. Hopefully not what Max Verstappen did in real life. Makes his way through the final corner, taking it absolutely perfectly. DRS wide open for Elite. Is this going to snatch pole position away from Shadow? Not quite. It's close, but not close enough for Elite. Elite will not be getting pole position here in Saudi Arabia. It was a fantastic try, but just fell short by only a couple of thousandths of a second, 65 thousandths of a second. But an absolutely fantastic run there for Elite with a 26.103 around a very, very technical circuit like Saudi Arabia. He has to be very, very happy with that one. But Shadow still out there on a lap, and this is his prime time to try and get pole position away and get away by quite a fairable margin.
Yeah, let's see what Finn can do as he crosses, well, I say crosses the line. He will be crossing the line very, very shortly. It's round the final corner for the Alfa Romeo driver. He goes to P7. Who else is on a lap? It's one of the Ferraris. Is that Moritz first? No, it's Harvey that's first. Let's see what he can do in the Ferrari. Across the line for Harvey, and I don't think that's improved. He might have been on an outlap. I got myself far too excited. Here comes Moritz. He's on an. He's not improved. He's P12. He's staying where he's staying. I think the next one we have to really keep an eye on is this man, WR Alfie. He's 0.001 quicker than his last time in Sector 2. He's a little bit quicker in Sector 3. Oh, sorry, in Sector 2. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. He is quickest of all, if you can believe the timing screens from Codemasters. But I'll let that for you to decide. At the moment, everyone is saying Shadow. 50% for Shadow on pole. I mean, it's... I don't want to say it's a sure bet. It's a very smart bet. But here comes Alfie, round turn 27. And across the line for the Haas driver. It's so, so close. So close.
Absolutely, and Shadow has invalidated his run. 29 thousandths Alfie was off there. That might just be enough for Shadow there. Broken puts it into P4 there with Wilson and P5. Matthew Roberts again invalidating on his run as well. Smokey about to cross the line, only a 10th up on his time. Puts it into P9. Not a bad lap time from him. Moritz is deciding to go again as well alongside a few other drivers. Silas is missing a front wing on his Alpine. I don't know what has happened to him. Harvey is about to cross the line. Can he steal the show away from Shadow? Currently P2 in the standings as he crosses the line now. Best he can do is P5 with the 26.428. As Moritz is about to cross the line, what can he do? He's about 2/10 up at the moment and puts it into P13, only 29 thousandths of an improvement. Square on pole! Where has that come from? We're completely missing the point. Square on pole position here in Saudi Arabia. We break it to the 25s, a 25.969. His championship aspirations are back on track. Square on pole position here in Saudi Arabia.
Wow, who saw that coming? I definitely did not. He was completely off the radar. Nothing, absolutely nothing. No one. I don't think anyone even. I mean, there was people saying other. I can't see anyone in the chat saying Square. PSR Square has stolen the show in qualifying. Absolutely incredible.
I do not believe that. That is absolutely fantastic from the Alpine driver and snatches it right out the death under our noses. How much did he get that? By 69 thousandths of a second quicker than Shadow there, and he keeps his aspirations alive for the championship that little bit more. He has about a 51 point gap, I believe, to Shadow at the moment. It's still possible at the moment with 25 points going to his name. Shadow obviously in P2 getting as much points as he deserved if it stayed like that. But Square getting off to a very, very good start in qualifying, and with a 25.969, that is a monster of a lap from Square. I wish we stayed on board for that one, but just couldn't find it. But Square on pole position, an absolutely sensational lap from the youngster there, and the top three separated by less than a 10th of a second, with Alfie in P3 by 98 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, what a crazy, crazy qualifying that is. Oh, we didn't expect that at all, did we? Let's try and how can we even break that down? Because we completely I forgot about Square. I knew he was qualifying, but I'm just like, no, it's these three. These three have set the world alight so far, doing the times, pushing it forward. But Square out of nowhere's gone. You know what? These guys aren't talking about me. I'm gonna make my name, and he has done. He has done a phenomenal job. To throw it himself on pole position there. I mean, did you even get to see his lap? Because I was like, no, he's not going to be doing a lap.
No, absolutely not. I was looking on Moritz just to see if he could go any quicker on his lap. He's about 2.5 tenths up, so I was wondering where he could. I didn't realise Square was on a lap, actually. I couldn't see him on the board, but yeah, an absolutely fantastic one to pull out the bag there, as I just saw into turn one with Elite as well. When he was running on board there, he went pole position, but absolutely fantastic effort there from Square, and great to see him on top there, and a fantastic lap to see him up there as well. I can't see him there. I was just blown away by that. I can't believe it. But yeah, Square on pole position from Shadow in P2, and a brilliant effort there from Square, and definitely absolutely 100% needed that to try and keep his championship aspirations alive. A few people readying up early, so a few people like Recluse, Silas, Moritz and M. Racing not had a time to switch to the medium compound tyres in the bottom 11 if that was their plan, so unfortunate for them. But to make their way for the formation lap, it's Square on pole position, and what an absolutely fantastic qualifying session that was from him. With Shadow in P2, he's going to have to try and get the best start of his life into turn one.
Certainly will have to do his best. Wow, round 12 of WR Season 12 sees us head to Saudi Arabia for the first time on Xbox. And just like Shadow's lead in the championship, it's a big one, and what a track it is. The Jeddah Corniche circuit saw the lead change hands no less than 4 times on the final lap, and both PlayStation and PC Tier 1 last season in its inaugural race. That's a crazy stat. It's 25 laps off this 3.8 mile circuit, 27 corners in total, 16 to the left and 11 to the right. This is the most this is the most corners on a circuit in an F1 calendar. It's a massively challenging circuit for these guys out there tonight. Jarno and Sam Corby on the winners list for PC and PlayStation here respectively last season, and we get to see what Super Sam Corby can do in action as he goes around the outside of Jensen as they do battle through the final sector and gets the move done on just before turn 27 to claim victory. And speaking about epic battles to the line, Jarno holds his nerve, but it's all about Tom Martinez snatching second place away from Richie and Paradzes from fourth place as they go around the final corners. Penalties assisted him, but you've got to be in there to pick up the pieces. Enough about them guys, so let us see what these guys can do. How can these guys make history tonight?
Well, I think Shadow can definitely make history today if he gets the win here, and can definitely hold one hand on that trophy if he can. Obviously starting in P2, couldn't quite get it done in qualifying. It was looking good up until maybe the final 5 seconds of the laps. Maybe the final car who crossed the line got pole position in the end, which was PSR Square, and a fantastic drive from him. He knows that this championship is still alive. He knows he had to do the best he could to try and get this championship, and he's done so with putting it on pole position here tonight. But Shadow in P2 as well. Alfie trying to ruffle some feathers in P3 alongside Elite, who's in for pride as well, alongside Alfie, and obviously they will not care the slightest about the championship at the moment, but try and ruffle some feathers for a bit of pride. But we're about to go green for the WR Saudi Arabia Grand Prix for the first time on Xbox, and it should be a cracker.
This is going to be incredible. The Jeddah Corniche circuit, this is where it's all about. What can these guys do? Who's going to make history on Xbox Tier 1? We're waiting for 5 lights here. What can any one of these guys do? And away we go. Alfie is trying to get the best start possible. He's looking quick, but Shadow takes the lead from the get-go. Square is in trouble. He's going to lose it. And I think Alfie's trying to make a move at the inside as well. Is he inside the Alpine? That's a little bit of an odd one. Shadow, though, takes the lead, and I think that is 2 positions games from Wilson in the background as well, and Broken has had an absolute shocker.
Fantastic start there from Shadow, already 5 tenths clear. Done Square at the start, and there is Moritz round at turn 4, I believe. He's had a terrible start from the midfield as well, and just unfortunate getting into a tangle there. But Shadow had to do what he needed to do. He got the job done, got the lead in towards turn 1. A brilliant start for Square out wide to try and get him the long way around, and Shadow up into the lead of this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with Square 5 tenths back in P2. Alfie trying to battle away alongside Elite in P4, trying to ruffle some feathers as well. And there goes Boots on Broken in P9. Had a shocker of a start in the background. I think he started P5 and is now down into P9. He's had a terrible start, but Elite all over the back of this Haas of Alfie and could be getting in towards P3 and maybe even P2 as Moritz is round again, just not having a good start to his race. There goes Elite trying to force him, and Alfie squeezes him down. There goes Elite down the inside. A brilliant move if he can force this one off. Down the inside he goes. They're side by side at the corner. Alfie tries to shrug him off, and down the inside goes Elite. They're still side by side, going up towards the back straight. Shadow with the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Square's going to make a move down the inside. They're 2 battling 2 by 2. There goes Square for the lead. There goes Elite for P3, maybe even P2 as he tries it around the outside of his teammate. Cannot get it done as Alfie battling away. They're still side by side. They lock wheels once again. Elite down the inside. Has he got this job done? Yes, he has. Square into the lead. Shadow in P2. Elite up into P3. Alfie in P4. And it's absolutely fantastic after first lap of racing.
Square fought back valiantly and attacked Shadow exactly how he would have wanted to. Not how Shadow would have wanted to, but Elite nearly clipping his teammate and knocking his teammate out of the race. That would have been an interesting one to go to the stewards. But at the moment, Elite is showing his worth. What a move. It took him a little while, but it all started at the beginning of turn 27, and now he's sizing up the championship leader. And I really do think Elite's got the bit between his teeth, and I think he could very well get Shadow as they come into turn 27 again.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is definitely very, very careful. You have to save as much ERS as you possibly can around here to try and stick within the DRS. Obviously, if you use too much, you're going to get absolutely swatted on the back straight, but here comes Shadow trying to use the slipstream into his advantage. Is broken, losing a lot of positions as well. There goes Shadow around the outside of the Alpi. He's going to break a little bit later. There goes Elite down the inside as well. They get 3-1 in the final corner. Brilliant to see. Elite trying it down the inside. Shadow holds him off as Shadow into the slipstream is square now. So there's yellow flags flying around. Elite with the fast up on Grand Prix. He's trying on his teammate as Shadow's going to have to try and make the move. Elite's going to push him around the outside. It's still side by side. Elite is not budging at all for his teammate as Shadow still trying it around the outside. Elite losing a little bit of traction. Shadow holds on for this time around, but Elite not playing the waiting game, not playing the team game. He wants this P2 for Pride. He wants this race win. He's tried to prove it in Portugal. Couldn't quite work with the defensive move at the last race, but Shadow still remains in P2, but Elite not holding off any grudges here in Saudi.
Wow. There is no chill from Elite. There is, well, I'm sure there's respect, but he doesn't care who's who. He is just battling away. Each of those drivers in front of him is just another racer. He doesn't care. He just wants to go through every driver. And this is the action, exactly what we want to see here in Jeddah. And he's all over the back of his teammate. And this could help Square if it works to his advantage. But Shadow's not, you know, he's not losing any ground to Square in ahead. It's just he's got to worry about his mate behind him because he's not backing off.
No, absolutely not. And Elite might try it once again. He's got a brilliant run out of the penultimate corner, but sure as Shadow on Square. Shadow could get this job done for P1, but Elite might get the job done for P2. Does he make it 3 wide? He's going to find the smallest gap. It just gets boxed in. And Elite round the outside. Shadow gets the job done for P1. Or has he Square? Doesn't get the greatest exit in the world, but he still will get the DRS on Shadow. Elite will get the DRS off both of them. Shadow defensively very aggressive to try and force him into the wall there. There goes Elite down the inside of his team. He's still trying it down into turn 1. Does he get the job done? He squeezes him off the track there, Lewis Hamilton style, and Max Verstappen in real life. And Shadow still remains, but he gets a 3-second time penalty. He may have to let that one go as the lap car of Moritz. Oh no, there goes Shadow as well, losing it massively out of the left-hander, and there goes Alfie as well, and Shadow getting a little bit distracted by the non-ghosted car of Moritz for whatever reason, as Shadow losing 2 positions into one corner. Square has a 6/10 advantage, and it's terrible for Shadow as he loses P4 as well. Harvey looking down the inside, Shadow down to 6th. It's a terrible flat 4 for Shadow.
What has happened to him? Is that all down to Maritz's car? But Harvey, his main championship rival, is now ahead of him. And, oh my goodness, Square is doing well, whatever he can. I've got to go back to the top because I don't think Elite is going to leave him be for 5 seconds. What can he do? They hang around through Sector 2 as they try there. Wow, Moritz has now left the session. That's to be expected. But into this fast swinging turn 22, 23, 24. And look how close Elite gets. Alfie's there as well, waiting in a wing. Wilson's having a great race as well. But here comes Elite around the outside. We've seen this so many times and Elite's got the move done. But the DRS will go back to Square, and Square will attack straight back into turn 1.
Absolutely, so we'll have the DRS back on Elite. Alfie will have the DRS as well. Square tries to shut off, so maybe just playing the long game with Elite, but he's got to be wary of Alfie. He's going to look down the inside, almost making it 3-1. Square very, very late. They make contact. Rounds! Elite is round. A very, very late move there from Square. Elite will be absolutely furious with that one. And Elite rounds from the lead of the race on lap 5. I do not believe it. Square just putting his nose in a little bit too late. And he's paid the price as Elite, and Square losing a lot of time as Alfie now leads this Grand Prix, and the other Red Bull of FRA Elite has so much to do now, and he's down into P17. Cannot believe it as Reclusive gets another penalty as well, but now Elite is going to have to make up all that time and a little bit more to try and win this Grand Prix.
And that was smart driving from Alfie. He forced the mistake from Square, which is unfortunate for Elite, who's down now in 17th place. But smart driving from Alfie, trying to force a move from Square, and it's exactly what he would have wanted. And he's now in the lead of this race by 1.2 seconds. You know, Alfie, he's got it back all of a sudden, looks like. Square picking up a penalty, trying to keep up with Alfie ahead at the moment, but he's got to worry about Wilson and Harvey that are behind him because they are now going to be the main guys to attack him.
Yeah, absolutely. So Square just not having a great lap here on lap 5, picking up that penalty. Has now lost the DRS to Alfie, and Wilson could be easily picking up the points here. So is Harvey, who's come from about P13 in this race. Alfie with Fast Lap Grand Prix. There goes Wilson. Easy as you like for Square. There goes Harvey. Easy as you like as well. Down into P3. Square's going to try and fight this the long way around. Harvey's now going to try and fight it a long way around as he forces out wide. He uses a little bit of traction, but Harvey gets the job done. And now Shadow picking up the pieces as well. Square relegated down to P4. And now Shadow all over this battle as well, with Square still hunting away on Harvey. But Harvey getting the job done in towards P3, and now the championship is wide open in favour of Harvey at the moment, picking up more points than Shadow. But Alfie leading this Grand Prix, and it's a WR 1-2 with Wilson in P2. Silas with a 3-second time penalty to boot as well, as there's a little bit of a train forming from about second all the way down to about P9, with Finn at the back of this train, with Recluse just starting to breathe in that little bit of that 9/10 gap at the moment. But Alfie still walking away with this, but we have to remember last time he was in the lead by quite some margin at Australia. He had a little bit of a moment rounding the final few laps of this race, but hopefully he can hold on here at Saudi Arabia, and hopefully nothing funny happens tonight.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like Shadow's having a few connection issues at the moment, and that's not what he would have wanted. I thought he completely dropped it at turn 23 then, but he's managed. It hasn't. But look at this. Harvey's being swamped by Square and Shadow as they come into 27. Any of them going to make a move? None of them do. Harvey is saved just a little bit because of the DRS, I'm sure, of Wilson. But here comes Shadow on to the back of Square, and the move should be done. Are either of them going to be brave enough to try and grab Wilson as well as follow Harvey through? Shadow's going to be that man, and he's up, and he's now behind Harvey and his main championship rival, so the points deficit has been reduced. But Square down to P5. Elite, however, is up 3 positions from his incident a few laps to go. He was down to 17th, but he's managed to make it back a little bit, but his charge has been halted. Those tyres are going to be more, well, far more screaming at him than he would have liked.
Yeah, Shadow with a beautiful move there to get 2 of them down the inside, follow through the gap, and he goes into P3. That's a beautiful move there from Shadow. Obviously, with that penalty, probably won't get removed, as he did cut that chicane to try and gain an advantage on Elite, but was a little bit of connection issues on my side as well, which is very, very interesting. Hopefully that gets fixed sooner or later on Shadow's side, but he's now trying to catch up to Harvey in the DRS of him, as Harvey that's 1/10.5 slower than Alfie at the moment, or the gap is about a 1/10.5. He's got to keep this clean as Harvey for the rest of this race. Shadow with a 3-second time penalty has got the gap within his teeth at the moment, and Harvey really has to try and get a move on. Maybe if Shadow overtakes him, just lets him go. There goes Shadow down the inside and gets the job done on Harvey. Harvey with the DRS on the back straight, I believe. Yes, he will, so he may want to try and fight this back, but already Shadow peeling off to the pit lane. So Shadow trying an undercut, and he's in first alongside Square as well. So top 2 runners in this race deciding to not pie any participants on soft compound tyres anymore and electing for the mediums.
Watch out for the 2 McLarens, because they are within this. They kept within the DRS ranges of the battle, the leading group on the softs. They have got a wonderful chance right now. We'll keep an eye on those. I reckon lap 22, 23, they're going to be fighting their way through the grid a little bit. But Harvey, 1.6 seconds behind Alfie. We know why Shadow's pitted early. He wants to try and catch up with Alfie, reignite the fractious relationship battle that they had at the beginning of the season. He wants that again. Elite, though, he has yet to pit. He's now up into 7th place. He's not really catching ground to Buraps or Smoky Head. It's sticking at the 1.6, 1.5 mark. So there's still plenty of things to watch out for. Matthew Reese is still within DRS range of WR Wilson as well. But that is very, very close to being broken.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bobbitt's again with a 3-second time penalty to boot, and the leaders of Alfie about 17, 18 seconds back on Shadow. So if he were to pit now, it'd probably be a wise decision just to try and get in front. There goes Wilson down the inside of Harvey, gets the job done. Harvey's going to try and want to fight this. Does Alfie want to peel into the pit lane? Does he try to? Yes, he is. Alfie into the pit lane. Wilson alongside Harvey as well. Matthew decides to stay out, and Racer stays out as well, as almost Harvey going into the back of Wilson. That lucky nothing happened there, but the top 3 all electing for the pit lane. But where is Shadow and Square? They're about to come round the final corner now. They're entering the back straight. This should be fairly easy. Where are they going to come out? Wilson and Alfie just about to exit the pit lane. It's going to be very, very tight. They're about side by side. Alfie may just get this, Shadow is going to try his best. There goes Alfie into the net lead. The overcut has worked for Alfie. The undercut has not worked for Shadow and Square. And now Shadow in the net P2, Square in the net P3, Alfie in the net P1. His in-lap, was absolutely phenomenal. And Alfie has benefited this from taking the race lead.
Yeah, Alfie's done exactly what he needs, and he's not actually losing. It was 1.6 in front of the second place man before the pits, and it's 1.2 now, so he's not really lost an awful lot, but that's because of Shadow dropping himself into the pit and doing the undercut, but it wasn't enough. Luca picking up a 3-second time penalty there as well. We did see Burrap some Smokey swapping positions on the start-finish line as well. There's so much action going on, but we will stick on board with Shadow because he's got Square, Wilson, Harvey, and maybe Boots can bring himself into the swing of things as well, but I think maybe Matthew Rees and M Racer possibly stayed out for a lap too long. Yeah,
definitely so. I think they've really mistaken this one a little bit too long on the soft compound tyres. We just have a look. They're about 15 seconds behind, which is not going to be enough. Matthew peels into the pit lane, and Racer will try for one more, which is interesting. Obviously, his fight is not with Shadow, but he's definitely want to go as long as possible on the soft compound tyres. Maybe still feels comfortable so far. Matthew decides to call it a day on the soft compound tyres and pits for the medium. Square absolutely rocketing and gets past Shadow for the net P2 there and gets past that 29.987, I think that was on my screen. But yeah, fantastic move there from Square. Gets the job done, and he's up into P8 on a net P2. And now Shadow is going to have to try and push as hard as he can, because this is for position, with Square having another penalty as well. But Wilson and Harvey, penalty free. Harvey's going to have to push this to try and get in front of Shadow and in front of Wilson to try and get as many points for the championship as he possibly can, and try and hope for the best. But Shadow and Square, with all penalties, is getting a little bit tense for a few.
I tell you what, this is one hell of a race. Alfie still keeping that 1.2 to the guys behind, but he is getting close to WR Connor, who has yet to pit. He's got to now navigate some of these drivers, and that is going to be a problem. If he gets himself caught up and then the other drivers getting in as well, the battling, the tyre wear, everything is nothing is set in stone right now for any of these drivers, as like we saw a little earlier on with Elite having a little spin at turn 1 and 2 because of an
Square's had a little bit of a moment as well.
Has he?
He's had a little bit of a moment, and Shadow is caught right up here. He's just lost the car a little bit, and Shadow has forced up a little bit, which was about 1.3. It's now into about 4/10. DRS wide open for Shadow once again. DRS in range for the Red Bull, and this is an easy move for the Red Bull of Shadow. Alfie the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Shadow takes back at the net P2.
Is Harvey going to do anything behind? He sticks behind Wilson for now, and you know what? Now there's Connor in between Alfie and Shadow. And that could be a little bit of a problematic for Shadow. It depends how quickly he can catch up to the back of that AlphaTauri and dispose of him, and whether he can do it into turn 27 or not. But we'll have to wait and see for that one. But Alfie dispatching of Connor relatively quickly and easily, and now he's already all over the back of Mel as well.
Yeah, definitely Alfie absolutely flying in this net P1 so far, making his way through the traffic quite well. Obviously, there's a little bit of a gap between Maloney and Luca forming, and a gap between Luca and Smokey also, but M Racer as well, refusing to pit on the soft compound tyre so far. He's doing quite well. He's keeping this gap to Burroughs fairly well, so hats off to him at the moment. But here comes Alfie, but then again, here comes Shadow trying to push Connor to the absolute limit here, and is pushing him through the corners quite considerably as they make their way through the left and through the right. Should be fairly easy for Shadow to get past the AlphaTauri, the sister team to the Red Bull, not even with the use of DRS almost, and gets the job done around the outside. And there goes Alfie down the inside of Maloney for P5, gets the job done. So one leader into P7, the other into P5, and Square trying his luck around the outside of Connor, can't get it done, but with the DRS may be looking pretty decent as M Racer pulls into the pit lane. Here comes the DRS on Square, trying to get the job done on Connor, but Connor has the DRS on Shadow. Connor's going to try and go defensive to break the slipstream, but Shadow's still there, but Connor calls it a day and lets a few drivers go, and knowing that's not his fight, lets them go. Quite a smart thing to do, and Connor losing a few positions, but not in his fight, as Shadow gets up to P6, Square in P7, Wilson in P8, Harvey in P9, Matthew Rees in P10 as well.
Look how much time those Shadow lost to Alfie. It's now 2.4 seconds between the two of them, all because he was held up by the AlphaTauri in the slow and tight part of the track, and the Red Bull driver just couldn't pass him. And, you know, looking ahead, Luca is now 1.1 seconds in front of Alfie. Recluse picking up another time penalty there, 3 seconds for him. There's a lot of battling still to do. Elite's got himself back up into the swing of things as well. He's all over the back of Finn a little bit further down. You know what? I would be really impressed if he can manage a P5 or higher. But you know what? With the pace he's showing, it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Elite is absolutely rapid there as he gets past Connor, he lets them go. But here he comes on Finn. On the other hand, yellow flags just further back. That's Connor going a little bit slowly, but Elite just getting a little bit pulled back by Finn with his lack of pace at the moment. But here comes Elite trying it around the outside, very, very tight. But the DRS that the Red Bull got gets back inside and gets the job done into P11. But yeah, definitely some good points still on the cards for Elite here as Boots gets the job done on Finn as well, so losing a few positions is Finn. There goes Alfie on Shizu Luca for the podium. There goes Shadow on Maloney for P5, and there goes Square on Maloney as well. Shadow just still a little bit quicker than Square at this moment in time, but yeah, going back to Elite, he definitely has the opportunity to just try to get a few points in. Obviously with Shadow and Square with penalties, and also Burraps with penalties as well, can get up there. Maybe even a podium is still possible for Elite. You never know, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit tight for Elite at the moment, but definitely a good top 5, top 6 finish is still possible for the Red Bull man.
Alfie is pulling out all the stops. Here's a retirement for Silas. He's done and dusted, unfortunately, for him in the pits and retiring. But you know what, Alfie, these top level guys are you know, the big chunk at the top. Alfie, Shadow, Square, Wilson, Harvey. You know what? They could get away with another pit stop if they're lucky. You know, obviously you've got to worry then about Matthew Rees and Elite and their pace. But if they are that worried about it, they'll have then the softer tyres. I mean, it's a very far-fetched strategy. I know that, but it's possible. And especially if we get a safety car towards the end. But Shadow, 1.7 seconds behind Luca, who is 1.1 seconds behind Alfie. And Alfie is all over the back of the current leading pack, which is Burraps and Smokey. And Smokey's struggling to keep up with his teammate at the moment. Burraps is pulling away, but Alfie is going to dispatch of him pretty quickly. And into the pits goes Burraps. He's the first McLaren to pit.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there from Alfie to get the both of them as he gets past Smokey as well. Shadow into P4, Square into P5. Harvey this time around gets into P6. Wilson trying to fight it, but just backs out in the end, and he has to admit defeat to P7 there. But Alfie as well just momentarily picked up a penalty there, so he now has the 3-second time penalty. So now Shadow is still in this race for the win here, but Square in P5 is going to hunt him down for this one. Harvey right now is the leading pair, yellow flag, and that is Luca, who's had a crash, and that may bring out the safety car. Wonder where, and the safety car is deployed. Luca has lost it through the technical part of sector 1, and the safety car is deployed on lap 14 of 25. 11 laps on the softs, which may turn out to be 9 in the end when the safety car comes out. And this is tough, where it's an awkward part for the safety car to come out, but do you pit for softs right now, or do you stick it out for track position? This is not a very decent, not a very ideal safety car for a lot of these guys to come out to try on the soft compound tyres. Beautiful for Burraps and Maloney's, they've just pitted off to soft compound tyres, but maybe not great for the leading pack.
I mean, it's even better for Smokey. He held out that lap extra. He goes in now, and if everyone goes in, he's going to be in a massive battle for this. I mean, oh, wow. What is going to happen? Bobbitts might very well be able to catch back up with this and have a little bit of a race on his hands. Feel for Silas, who retired just a couple of laps ago. If he just stuck it out, he would have been back in a battle. What does Alfie do? Does he pit? He does.
Yes, he does.
Alfie pits.
And Smokey as well, just pointing that out. Smokey is in a brilliant position here. Shadow pits as well. They're all going to have to pit. Smokey is on the podium at the moment if he stays like this, and maybe even a race winner's on the card with Alfie with a penalty. Smokey penalty free, and Square is in the pits actually. Sorry about that, but yeah, Elite stays out actually. So Elite has stayed out and is in the lead of this Grand Prix. So, this has actually worked out pretty well from a spin on early on. This still could be a win for Elite. This still could be a win for Smokey. It's all up in the air at the moment. A Shadow gets past Burraps. Square, very, very tight. Is this enough? That might just be enough to get in front, as he was under pit lane conditions, a little bit like Sainz and Verstappen in real life, but I think Square just got that position in the end. Very, very tight, but he had to get that done if he wanted to stick to Shadow there. But this pays out beautifully for Elite and for Smokey. Elite on fresher medium compound tyres. This plays out well for Elite and Smokey.
You know what? I don't know if you saw that, but Burraps looked like he slowed coming into turn 1, purposely slowing down. There's some controversy coming on here. Maybe with his teammate trying to help him, his PSR teammate. Don't want to say too much. I could get a completely the wrong end of the stick there. But Elite in the lead of this. Alfie in second, Smokey in third. Wow. Elite, after heartbreak early on, is massively in with a massive shot here. We know he's got the pace. Those tyres will be the best tyres at the end of the race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Elite in a very good position. Smokey in a very good position. So is Harvey, currently in P3 and taking Shadow as well. Wilson in a good position. They're all in very, very good positions at the moment. Oh, and Bobbitts as well will catch up, but he's decided to stay out on the same medium compound tire. So only Elite and Bobbitts have decided to stay out. The top leader and the one in last place at the moment have decided to stay out. Elite may get away with it. At the moment, I'm not quite sure. We're going to have to wait how it stays out. The safety car will come out. Will go green about lap 17, I believe. I think it will be in at the end of this lap in lap 16. So I think it'll be about lap 17. So we'll have about 9-8 laps of racing to go. So it's definitely very, very tight. We could see a new race winner here. And Saudi Arabia already bringing great racing across PC and PlayStation. And it's going to be an absolute cracker here in Xbox. And we're talking about making history. Smokey or Elite could be making history with their first ever Xbox Tier 1 win here. It's going to be very, very interesting in these final 10 laps.
This is going to be a hell of an end of the race. WR always delivers. It's delivering again tonight. While there's a little bit of a lull in the action, let's just quickly take you over to GridRivals and their sponsoring for WR for the rest of the season. Make sure you join the link that is in the description of the video and search for WR or World Online Racing in the GridRival app and just, put your head up against some of the, your thoughts, who you think. It's all fantasy F1 based. It's a really good app. I was terrible on it on the weekend, but that's neither here nor there. But you can go up against the likes of myself, Jish, and see if you really have what it takes to be in the fantasy F1 side of things and where you can finish in the WR leaderboard. It would be great to have you alongside, but the safety car is still out here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. This 27 corner circuit of absolute sheer hell for these guys has been sheer pleasure for us so far. 16 laps of absolute action.
Yeah, definitely. So just thinking about it a little bit more, I think Elite may not be safe here. Obviously, on the mediums, which will turn into 7-lap-old mediums, Alfie on fresh softs, Smokey on fresh softs, Shadow on fresh softs, Square on fresh softs. It's going to be a tough ask and a tough order for Elite to just try and keep this lead. But the safety car is in this lap. He controls the pace until the safety car line. Alfie hot on his heels. This is going to be interesting when Elite will go. He's gone quite early in Portugal, so I think he's going to leave this a little bit late right now. As you can see, making his way through towards the final corner. We can start the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Alfie really, really tight as Elite goes a little bit wide to just try and get the best exit possible. Where's he going to go? He's going to leave it. He's going to leave it, going to leave it, still leaving it. And there he goes, Elite away. And we can start this Grand Prix. Smokey all over the back of Alfie at the moment, and maybe having a little bit of a taste of Elite as well. Here comes Smokey. Is he going to try it down the inside? Shadow and Square side by side. There goes Square around the outside of Shadow and around the outside of Smokey.
No way.
Brilliant start there. And an absolutely fantastic start from the Alpine. And Shadow gets in front as well, which has not paid off well for Square, but gets up into P3. A brilliant move there. And he's up into net P3, but Alfie still plugging away on Elite, but a brilliant start there from the Alpine.
That's exactly what Square needed to do. Shadow managed to capitalise on it as well. Shadow didn't actually lose a position because he caught Smokey, but he did lose a place to Square. What a start from Square. Absolutely phenomenal from the Alpine driver. Alfie all over the back of Elite, and it looks like he's going to make the move. He needs to get this move done and dusted before anything else happens, but he can't. The straight line speed of Elite is absolutely on top level right now. Smokey picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is gutting for him. Mel's being passed by Reese, and I think Recluse is being passed by Finn there, or passing Finn, sorry. And look at Square. Square's going for Alfie around the outside. There's contact into the wall. Oh my goodness me.
And there goes Shadow for P3 as well. That's getting a little bit tasty. Alfie just shoved in the wall there. Not a lot he could do as he was battling away with Elite, but Square still in this, and he's still a little bit close behind Shadow. And there goes Alfie trying it around the outside. Shadow really close behind us. Smokey diving it down the inside of Square, not going to get it done. Burap's on Harvey as well. Here comes Shadow and here comes Alfie. Surely going to get the job done this time with Elite still plugging away with his fast straight line speed. He's still going to hold it down the inside. Alfie trying it around the outside. There's contact made once again. Alfie shoved a long way around. Elite shoved a long way around, losing a lot of traction. And Alfie muscles his way through and in to P2. He's relegated from, and Alfie takes the lead. Shadow in P3. Burapson, there's a lot of battling as Harvey's down to P10 as well, and maybe losing the front wing, and he's gone into the back. And Harvey, the net P2 in this race, has lost the front wing. This may be championship ending for Harvey. And so unfortunate. He was running so well, and just a little bit of an incident, and he's caught his front wing, and that might be the championship over and done for Harvey in this one. But Elite and Alfie still in with a fight, but Shadow, it's all hands on him for now.
Yeah, we've seen the Haas of Alfie battling away with a Red Bull. He's now got two of them behind him. He knows he's got to get away from this battling pack behind as quickly as possible. He's got to use those softs to the life of him, but the straight line speed that Elite has is absolutely phenomenal. He's keeping up with these soft runners on the slower compound tyre. He's going to be battling away. He's got no penalties. He's in a wonderful position. Wilson in P6 as well can, if he just nips himself through. Smokey and Burraps, the McLaren duo, have had a hell of a race, and they've done something incredible here. But here comes Shadow. Let's go on board with Shadow and see what Elite does to Alfie coming down the back straight. No DRS assistance on this lap. PSR Square picks up a penalty, down in 17th place now. Yeah, so nothing for Elite on this time. Alfie, fastest man on the track, which is kind of to be expected. But DRS is enabled this time. Harvey and Boots pits.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there for Elite. Just hit the wall there. Elite just taking a little bit too much. There goes Shadow for P2. Elite hitting the wall there. Maybe front wing damage on that Red Bull. Don't think there is. But front wing did put a little bit of a hit there for Elite. Elite feeling the pressure with another penalty to boot alongside Burraps. They now share about 6 seconds of penalty, I believe. And the penalty is still on there for Smokey. Elite lets them go. And I think that may be a little bit of damage for Elite there. So unfortunate. And once again, even more issues for Elite in this race. Got taken out on lap 5. And there's definitely front wing damage on that Red Bull now, if there wasn't already. And you can see that front right end plate a little bit damaged. But once again, another twist in this tail, and it's now what we're usually looking likely to see in the start of the season. Alfie versus Shadow, with Burraps in P3 and Elite all the way down in P9. The big rivals in this race, and now down out of the points, and this is just absolutely heartbreaking.
To no fault of his own as well, and that's the heartbreaking thing for Elite. It wasn't his fault in the early stages. I mean, the front wing might have been his fault, but the amount of incidents he's got himself into, which is no fault of his own, is such a shame for that Red Bull driver. Burraps and Smokey swapping places. They've got penalties galore between them, and Wilson is up for a podium right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's up for P3 at the moment with Smokey with a penalty. Wilson absolutely doing fantastically. Is it for a win, I wonder? Let's just have a look if it is. Not quite at the moment, but is in with a top 3 spot at the moment. But going back to the top 1, there's 5 laps to go. And right now, Alfie in the lead by 1.7 seconds with Shadow in P2. This has happened before at Australia. Shadow a little bit further down this time around, but it's happened before, and hopefully Alfie stays out a little bit of trouble. It's now down to 2 seconds with Shadow losing a little bit of pace, but it's looking very, very good right now for Wilson to pick up a podium. Very, very good for Alfie to pick up another win. But as Finn picks up a 3-second time penalty, wow. But the big players right now, Wilson on for a P3, Maloney on for a P4, and Racer on for a P5. Harvey still in this with the penalty situation, obviously. Well, maybe not as Elite is about 24 seconds back in for P14. At least he will be trying for the fast lap as well. He's pretty much out of it now, but looking very, very good for Alfie right now, alongside Wilson as well as Burraps and Smokey, the 2 McLaren teammates battling toe-to-toe. And this is getting a little bit tasty with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, the safety car that was brought out because of Lucas' crash on lap 14 has really turned this race on its head, and it's all about Burraps and Smokey, and their strategy has absolutely worked to perfection. Recluse then up at P8, but that 6-second time penalty is going to cost him. Broken picked up a penalty as well down in P10. That's 6 seconds for him. There's so much, I'm sure, anger for a few drivers here. Elite's obviously pitted and now has Harvey for company behind him. But Wilson is doing everything he needs to do. Shadow has dropped a little bit. Alfie's got a 3-second lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what has happened to Shadow, actually. I'm not sure why he's slowing up so much, but this opens the door for a podium for Maloney as well. I'm not sure why he's dropped off so much speed, and now Burraps is all over the back of the Red Bull Square for the Fast Lap of Grand Prix 28.105. But now Burraps is going to eat this lead up as Boots retires in the pit lane. I don't think there'll be any safety cars from this point onwards, but not sure why Shadow is slowing up so much. I don't think the tyres seem okay. Front wing seems okay on my end from looking at it, but not sure what's going on with Shadow at the moment. He's just dropped about 2 or 3 second gap. Doesn't seem to be any damage. Here comes Smokey on Burraps and maybe even on Shadow. Going to go 3 wide almost. Square. Oh my goodness me. Is Smokey, sorry, tries for a smallest gap. Does get it work. Shadow down into P4, battling away all the way with Smokey. This could be the championship deciding for Shadow if it may be wrapped up at France. He's going to try it on Burraps as well. Smokey a little bit down the inside, thinks better of it as Burraps gets forced out wide. Smokey trying it around the outside of both of them. Yellow flags, and that's Connor retiring in the pit lane. And so, oh my goodness, there's a little bit of battling. They're 3 wide between the two. There goes Recluse to P4, and he's still on with a good result as the McLarens tangle. And there they go. That is just fantastic. That is just very, very interesting how they're sort of forced up in the matter of seconds. They're late for the fast lap of the Grand Prix. This is fantastic.
Where did Recluse come from? Out of nowhere, him and Matthew Reese. Matthew Reese is now going into P2. Oh my goodness, it's a Haas 1-2 out this as it stands. Matthew Reese is gone into second place. He's overtaken Shadow. There's yellow flags, and I think that's Square in the pit lane, is it? Or coming down the start finish straight. I think it might have been him. But wow, what has gone on? What have we seen? Shadow has just lost all pace, all composure.
Yeah, absolutely so. But look at this. Maloney, at the moment, let's just have a look at the leaderboard. It will not be the race win, of course, but I think right now it's looking for a P2. Maloney could be on for his first few podiums of the season, maybe adding to his account at the moment. And Maloney pushing all the way. Here comes Burraps on his teammate Smokey. No love lost in the McLaren camp. There goes Reclusive on the back of Shadow. Recluse, sorry, round the outside of the championship leaders. He get the job done. There's a little bit of wheel bang in between the two. Lap 23 and 25, 2 laps to go. Recluse gets the job done into P3. Shadow down to P4. He's losing so many positions right now, Shadow. I think right now he'll be down into P9. He's only been picking up 2 points at the moment. There goes Racer on Wilson for the final few podiums of the race and cannot get it done. But right now, Shadow losing all composure, as you said, all pace. I'm not sure where this has happened as Finn retires in the pit lane. Unfortunate to see. It was on maybe for a few good points, maybe, if he picked up the pace a little bit. But a lot of retirements right now. But Elite, 19.6 seconds back. That probably won't be enough for the points. But it's getting a little bit tight out there for 2 laps to go. It's
getting very, very hairy out there right now. Matthew Reese and Recluse having a massive battle. Burraps, Smokey and Shadow and Mel and Racer and Wilson. All this is big racing stuff right now. And yeah, the penalties are just, it's happening too quickly for my maths to work. But Alfie has checked out. He's done what he has to do. And that's get the gap. It's 5.3 seconds to his teammate. Matthew Reese in second place at the moment. Recluse with that 9 seconds hanging over his head is going to be really daunting and painful for him. And Mel could very well pick up the final, or the second place, or even third. We'll have to wait and see. Here comes Recluse in the background. We see Shadow and Burraps changing around as well as Matthew Reese holding on to the time being. Wilson and Broken changing places as well. Wilson's gone just down. He's plummeted as well. And I think Burraps could very well hold on to Shadow at the moment. But look at this. Shadow going ultra defensive on Smokey as they go into turn 1. The McLaren surely not battling and having a contact again. They hold station. The back end of the Red Bull slides out and just love taps Smokey there. And my goodness, lap 24 of 25. This race has just kept on giving us every bit of action we want.
Absolutely. I have no idea where this lack of pace is coming from Shadow. If I'm quite honest, I'm not sure what is happening. Unless there is damage that cannot be seen on our screen from the Red Bull front wing, which may cause a lack of pace, but he seems to be turning in okay as Maloney pushing him through that corner. It's so strange that this lack of pace is coming from Shadow, and right now, as we said, it's turning in to about lap P9. He'll be finishing up in this race. We'll just have a look at the penalty front 3 seconds, so it will be P9 regardless. So it's definitely interesting times for Shadow, and may be in a little bit of trouble to keep his championship advantage, quite a high championship advantage going into France. Here comes Maloney for the race position on P6. Here he comes around the outside of the Red Bull and gets the job done. And right now he's currently looking at a P2, and there goes Matthew Reese to keep it at a Haas 1-2 on track. Alfie starts to fast up at the Grand Prix. He's been sensational, 6-second lead, and has not looked back since the safety car. A fantastic race for him, and he is probably going to be the winner of the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Meanwhile, there's 2-1, and there's a big crash there, as there's a little bit of contact between them. Matthew sent spinning out in the lead, and oh my goodness me, it's happened like that, and this could be... Oh my goodness me, there's a little bit of contact between the McLarens, and Matthew has crashed out of this race into P11, and there's an even more twist in this tale.
He is going to be fuming. That, wow, what all I saw was this Haas go flying off. I think that's Burap's taking a evasive action through that part of the track as well. Lap 25 of 25, and the action still keeps on coming. Alfie's won this race by a safe canter right now, but who's going to finish on this podium? Mel looks, well, odds-on favourite for a second place here. M-Racer could be the next man on the podium.
Yeah, it's looking likely for Maloney P2 and M-Racer P3, but Alfie is absolutely blown away with this at the moment, making his way through Sector 3 to win the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, but this battle on track for P2 is still happening. Burras with another penalty to his name, which is going to fall him down way down the order and may just help Shadow pick up a few more positions, but here comes Alfie round the final corner to win the Saudi Grand Prix.
Yeah, let's go on board with Alfie. He's done it in whatever style he needed to do it. There's been constant battles throughout. Let's go. He's taken victory then. Alfie here at Jeddah. He's made history. Recluse is going to cross the line in P2, but how is this podium going to fall out? It's Mel in second place, M-Racer in third, Smokey in fourth, Shadow in fifth, sixth place going to Wilson, Broken in seventh, eighth going to Recluse in the end, Burraps in ninth, and Bobberts will pick up a point. Before the safety car, he was nearly lapped. Just shows all you need to do is stick out.
Yeah, that's all you need to do in league racing. That's what you have to do to try and get as most points as possible. That is true perseverance there from Bobberts. Massive pat on the back from him. Great job in P10 there. But Alfie back to winning ways once again in the lead and takes the victory here in Saudi Arabia. But Shadow holds on for 10 points at the moment, and I think may just extend his championship advantage by 59 points with Harvey and Square failing to score. And I thought, I was just told by Luke before the race, if Shadow wins or gets a good result, then he only needs 3 points. He may be able to wrap this up in France next week. And as what has just happened, Harvey and Elite and Square having really, really bad races. Alfie with the race win, of course, he's still in this championship at the moment, but a little bit further back, it may be down to Alfie and Shadow all over again, but a commanding race win from Alfie from the safety car. He takes the win in Saudi Arabia with a shock podium of Maloney in P2, M-Racer in P3, and fantastic racing all around. And Alfie is your race winner here in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, wow, what a... Jeddah is one of those tracks in league racing which is absolutely incredible. Alfie gives the punches and absolutely takes the victory here. With, like you say, a shock podium. Shadow down in fifth place. Yeah, great race for them. I'll give you a little bit of time just to decide who you think driver of the day should be for you. I will run down the finishing order here in Jeddah. Xbox Tier 1. It's Alfie that makes history. He's the first winner in Jeddah in the Xbox Tier 1 WR series. Mel and M-Racer round out the podium with him. Mel starting 15th. That safety car did help him, but wow, what a race from those two. FRT Smokey then in fourth with Shadow coming in fifth. Sixth was Wilson, seventh is Broken, Recluse in eighth, ninth going to Burraps, Bobbitt's in 10th place. Harvey then finishing in 11th. An unfortunate race for him with FRA Elite finishing 12th. Matthew Rees 13th is what it says on there, but he is, well, 13 is unlucky for some. It's definitely unlucky for him. Probably would have deserved a podium with how it raced at the end there. Square in 14th then, with no finishing for Finn, Connor, Bobbitt's, Luca, Silas or Moritz. I tell you what, Jish, that is one hell of a race. And I mean, there is really no words to describe what happened through the whole of that. Let's go with drive of the day.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give that to Maloney. Obviously, a great podium from him. 15th on the grid and takes that second place spot. Absolutely fantastic, just to make sure if you keep it clean and keep it out of the track limits, you'll be absolutely fantastic. And that is a very, very good P2 from Maloney. He is my driver of the day today. But yeah, I don't know what to think about that, though. That just opens up the championship a little bit more. And Shadow still has that little, maybe a pinky on that championship. And Alfie still maybe back in this championship fight. Obviously 10 points going to Shadow, 59 points at the moment. But obviously with Alfie back in this fight, maybe slimmed down just ever so slightly. But wow, just fantastic to see there. And this championship may even go a little bit further than we may expect.
Well, I'll tell you what, it makes France an interesting race. I'm gutted to miss it, but that is next week's race. I'm not here. You're going to have someone different. We haven't decided, or it hasn't been decided what's happening yet. But wow, what a race here in Jeddah. And this is going to be, well, I make it sound like it's going to be talked about for years, but it could be the deciding points to Shadow's season. Alfie, it could be the turning point for his season. Could Alfie come and now take the victory? Shock us all. He's had an absolutely nightmarish beginning of the season. Some great races in there as well. But, could this be the turning point?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he had a pretty good start to the season in the first three. I think he took that win in Belgium as course, but near the mid-season just had a terrible bit of luck at the moment. But obviously, Shadow's done very, very well with a lot of wins to his name. But I think he definitely does still hold that lead in the championship. But that was definitely a deciding race in the championship right there. And I think Alfie with that win definitely gets his championship just that kick-starting ever so slightly. But also with Shadow with that lucky P10, lucky P5, sorry, which takes in 10 points to his name, still holds on to that championship aspiration into France. But it's going to be very, very interesting to say the least as well. But Alfie does definitely kickstart this race as well. I think you can probably say that Square and Findium's championship aspirations, and Harvey as well, may be over right now. Obviously, Alfie was behind them. He will jump up to P2, I believe, at this moment in time. But I think that may be end to Harvey and Co's championship aspirations. But Shadow still definitely can win this championship in France. There's no doubt about that. I think Alfie just has to focus that win is a must-do, that you can't come anywhere closer. You have to get that win. And I think he's going to have to hope that Shadow gets either no points or only a few.
Now, we do have one driver in here for the podium questions to start with, and that man got your driver of the day. I think he got the game's driver of the day. He definitely got my driver of the day as well. He is, just a testament of, like you said, Jish, just keep your, nose clean and keep it all nice and steady, and he just left the party. Come on, Mel. Right, let's do that again, and it's the man is Mel. He's obviously left us again. Is he doing this on purpose? Is Mel doing this on purpose? Come on, Mel. You're in the podium. You're in the podium questions, my friend. Hello. Oh wow.
Maybe a few mic issues on the way.
Maybe a little bit. I haven't spoken to him in a while as well, as he's dropped out again. Let's see if. It keeps saying it's disconnected for him. Let's drop him in. There we go. I hear something. Mel, welcome. Congratulations on your P2. I mean, talk us through that race. It's a very, very difficult track to keep going and not get any penalties, and you've done it perfectly. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe he's not here.
think I was still working. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
I had no pace at the start, and then somehow it worked out.
It was a cracking race for you. Just, talk about that safety car and, how did that change your plan?
Yeah, I thought I was going to get screwed by the safety car because it came out like lap after. But then I sort of got away with it and added some wing because it felt like I had wing damage the whole first stint. Then, yeah, worked out, just hung on at the end with people getting damage and spinning off and stuff.
Jish?
Maloney, absolutely fantastic from you tonight. You pick up that P2, very much deserved. You were my driver of the day. Obviously, keeping your nose clean with the penalties as well was very, very tight. Did you ever think you were ever on the limit, or did you ever think that the penalty was coming? Were you really any scared that the penalty or maybe the podium was out of sight?
Yeah, I was scared at the end there because it was just understeering a lot and getting close to getting the last one because I was on 2 the whole race. So yeah, definitely really, really stressful one.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic race from you. Obviously, going into France now, the final 3 races of the season, France, Britain and Brazil. Do you think you can do well in those final 3, just fighting for pride and getting the most podium positions and championship positions as you can?
Yeah, sure. France might be a bit hard, but I'll aim to get some points, and then Brazil's going to be the main one.
Yeah, well, absolutely fantastic job from you today. Congratulations on your podium. Good luck for the final 3.
Cheers.
Yeah, great job for Mel there. And, it's great to see him popping himself up towards the top. He's got the pace. But he mentioned at the start there he didn't have the pace at the beginning, so he upped his wings. And that... Does that what makes drivers like Mel that little bit, thinking better than other drivers? I'm going to pick on myself because I wouldn't have thought to change wings, even though I know that was... I know it's an option, but, I wouldn't do it in a race, but, he's done that. So does that make... Is that part of the reason why he's in the top tier?
Yeah, absolutely. That just separates the men from the boys, to be honest, Obviously, just that little bit of thinking about what you can do and what you can change about the car, what's not feeling right mid-race. It's just that just little bit of extra gear which gets you those positions, which is why Maloney deserved that podium today. Just that extra little bit of knowledge, just that little bit of wiser thinking from Maloney definitely got him that championship. If you that P2, sorry, getting a little bit too ahead of myself there, but yeah, definitely, as I said, separates the men from the boys there, which is a great job there from Maloney, and they did absolutely fantastically to get that P2 in the end. But yeah, that definitely sets the high caliber of drivers and the low caliber of drivers who may not think like that way. But yeah, Maloney definitely was absolutely fantastic today, and just that little bit of comment there was just fantastic to see.
Yeah, and so it doesn't look like we're going to get the other 2 drivers in here, which is a shame. It would have been nice to speak to either of those 2 about their race, but what a crazy end to the race. I mean, in general, how do you describe that sort of race, Jish? Because there was so much going on, so much action, controversy as well. It's, as a commentary point of view, it's great, but from a driver's point of view, you've done both, so you must feel both sides of it, and sometimes it's not so great.
Yeah, you have your good days and you have your bad days, obviously. The bad days obviously have to come with good days, and obviously Alfie definitely had a lot of bad days in this season, in the mid-season, so it's definitely great to see him back on that top step as well. But yeah, I think if you just want to put it into one word, I think you'd probably say from a driver's view, chaotic, and maybe from a commentator's view, fantastic. It's 2 sides of the story, so it's definitely fantastic from the fans' point of view and from a commentary point of view. But for a driver, it's very, very tense and maybe even scary at times, because you never know what happens in one move. That could be the end of your race and the end of the story, which probably had a lot for today. Like Square, got the pole position, was looking maybe to inspire his championship aspirations a little bit more. Same with Harvey, and they came out with no points. That's sometimes the luck of the draw, and just the way it plays sometimes, which is unfortunate for some, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And yeah, hopefully they can try and bring it on for the next 3 rounds just to try and get as many points as possible. But the championship may just be a little bit out of sight now.
Yeah, it's a shame for some of those drivers, and you know what, they've given everything this season with 3 rounds remaining. Shadow kind of has one hand on that title, it looks like. But as we saw today, he is beatable. You know, all of a sudden he lost some strategy, lost some pace. The things just went a little bit weird. It's not what we expect from him. So maybe there's chinks in his armour. And, you know, come the final race of the season at Brazil, we could see another phenomenal end of the season. I mean, 3 races to go, and everything is still to play for. The championship hasn't been won. I mean, now let's go to the, you know, if you like some fantasy F1 action, WOR is sponsored by GridRival. If you follow the link that is in the description to the video and, you know, just search for World Online Racing, sign up, go up against the likes of myself, Jish, a few others, and we've got this, you know, it's a great platform for a little bit of fun outside of the league racing aspirations that we have. But for myself and Jish, any final words from you, my friend?
Bring on France. I think that's all I've got to say. I think France would be absolutely fantastic, and a championship deciding race, no doubt about that, and could see Shadow with a WOR belt added to his name, or maybe not, and may have to wait until Silverstone. You never know, but yeah, I think the final words there is bring on France.
Now, definitely, if you want to bring tennis into the analogy, it's like 3 match points he's got as Shadow, I think is the best way to describe it. But if you've enjoyed this race, which I'm sure you have with everything that's gone on, please check over on the Twitter for all the other races from WOR. There are so many here. You've got the Xbox tier, you've got the PlayStation tier, you've got the PC tier on the weekend. That starts. And that is going to be incredible to see. But for now, from myself and Jish, we hope you've enjoyed what has been a phenomenal Jeddah track for us tonight. We'll catch you next time.